Hey, welcome back, everybody. This is going to be an ace match. I guess the third ace match of the season for Sparkyz, and this, well, I'll wait to tell you who it is. I already know, but they haven't revealed it yet. But anyways, just a quick recap. Game 1, Up Magic taking out Yark. Yark went in for a big timing attack, Hydraless break of Up Magic's front door and was unable to get in, and the Wraiths of Up Magic totally decimated him. Anyways, in Game 2, we had Hogel taking out Sangho. Pretty standard, really. Just a lot of mass Hydralisks and beat him up. Anyways, Game 3 was the first match against these two. It will be Lita versus Really as the ace match. So Lita versus Really already playing in this game, in this match, excuse me, in Game 3. And Lita took out Really pretty handedly. Really went for a kind of crazy, quick Wraith slash siege tank push into Lita's very fast expansion. That was on Neo Moonglaive, but Lita was able to hold off and won that game. Game 4 that we just saw was Secret versus Hiva, and Hiva denied Secret's bases forever. So we are now on to the ace match. Please change these colors. Yes, okay. So we are going to have, this is Really up in the northeast as the yellow Terran, and Lita is going to be the red Terran down in the southwest, and this is on Neo Tornado. Not too much different from regular Tornado, the main difference being that they changed the those funny little hills outside of the natural expansion so that the narrow side, the narrow ramp side of that hill is a little bit wider, and there is a neutral building, well actually a chrysalis with a fledgling Kerrigan in the mix hanging out on that ramp. Anywho, yeah, Lita has got to be feeling incredibly great about this matchup, and I'm actually kind of surprised that that eSTRO decided to stick with Really. Obviously, Really is their hottest player this season, probably their best player overall anyways, but, you know, Lita already beating him decidedly in this match, not to mention that now Lita is 3-0 against Really in their respective careers, I suppose, and you know, obviously Lita is nearly a 67% Terran versus Terran player, while Really is more like, it looks like about 45% for him. So eSTRO, just because they're out of choices, is forced to put in a you know, a lesser Terran to a great Terran versus Terran player, and they love the white people in the audience in Korea, that is for sure, especially if they got a beard. So if you're going to Korea and you're going to a StarCraft match, grow a beard, it'll be great. That's my official advice. Looks like Lita is once again going to be going for a pretty quick expansion. I'm just not paying attention to the early builds today, so I don't know if he's put down a barracks or not. It doesn't necessarily look like it on his minimap. A barracks going down for... excuse me, that's that chrysalis that I was talking about. Anyways, a barracks is going down for Really, and he is sending out a scout as well right after that barracks, so he will be able to find Lita eventually. This is a 4-player map though, so he is scouting clockwise, and so Lita is going to be his second. They are at cross-map positions. So this one, you know, last time I predicted that it would be a longer match because I didn't think Really would go anything crazy, which of course he did. But on this map, on cross positions, I think it really is a lot more likely to turn into a later game. But if that doesn't happen, then just make fun of me. That's the best way to handle these things. Once again, I'm going to keep nailing it down. MagFest is going to be awesome if you can make it. It starts on the 1st. It actually starts on the 31st if you want to come to a cool New Year's Eve party. It'll be fun. If you are coming, send me an email at sparkyzcast@gmail.com. Sparkyzcast is going to have some sort of presence. At least I, as Kyle, will have some sort of presence. I will be bringing my microphone. I don't know if I'm going to do any StarCraft events or if it's just going to be MagFest related stuff, but either way it'll be fun. It looks like Really is finally putting down his expansion now, so he is going to be matching expansions now that he has a little bit of scout and saw that Lita went for a fast expansion of his own. And Lita should be in a pretty decent position as they move into the mid game because his factory is not going to be too much later than Really's, if at all. I'm hoping that they're going to go and check in on that. The command center just halfway done for Really, while Lita's is, I think, up and running. Actually, it looks like Really did put down his factory before that expansion, I think, because he already has a machine shop and he's already building a tank, presumably. Don't see his machine shop spinning quite yet, so no upgrades, but I'm sure once he gets the money he will be putting some down. Second factory going down pretty quickly too, so I think he's going to want to put on the pressure pretty early if he can possibly sneak in before equivalent upgrades are up for Lita. And Lita once again going for Wraiths. He's skipping his second factory and putting down a starport, so almost definitely Wraiths. There still is the possibility of dropships, but actually with that starport position, I think he would have to lift up his starport to even put down the control tower to make dropships. Lita also, in a pretty sweet play, has snuck in an SCV scout. So kind of later in the game, SCV scout getting in, he sees that there are two factories and no starports coming up from Really. So you know, Lita will be able to possibly do some damage. I think Really has kind of sniffed this out and has put down an armory to try to counteract the Wraiths that he is correctly assuming are coming. So pretty smart on the meta game here from Really, realizing that Lita likes to go for Wraiths. You know, he doesn't have any scouting information, but he did see that Lita got a scout out, and he scouted around pretty specifically for other starports. The first Wraith is out along with the first tank. There are 3 tanks already for Really, and that Wraith has been revealed, and it's picking away at that barracks. And you know, picking off the barracks this early in the game is pretty good for a Terran, just because if you can limit your opponent to just 2 factories for a while, that can do a pretty good job. 3 tanks coming in and sniping off another SCV that was hanging around for Lita. I think that that barracks might go down. He's actually landing it, which is pretty smart because Wraiths do terrible air-to-ground damage. And Really is actually setting up now to put down a 3rd expansion. So going for a pretty aggressive economy right now. The first Wraith is out and is in the mineral line, but there are 2 Goliaths out there to defend against it. Lita is going to be able to get a full scout out, though, maybe do a little bit of damage, and it looks like he might go in and scout out this new base that is being built, and he definitely scouts it out, and he's probably going to be able to delay it with that Wraith. Probably going to be able to kill off that SCV. It looks like he is deciding to not kill it off for some strange reason, which is, I don't know, that's a little bit of an interesting decision, but he at least knows that it's going to be coming to do it, and there it happens! I was just telling my friend about that the other day, that it's funny that an SCV will kill a single Marine, and that is exactly what just happened right there. So now, visual proof, if you didn't know, single SCV will kill a single Marine with no micro involved. So that was a funny opportunity to prove a point that I was talking about just a day or 2 ago. That was when I was playing a game of StarCraft Brood War, the board game, and that was a pretty exciting match that we had. I almost came out with the win. I had a last-ditch effort where I sent in mainly my new Defiler tech, and I was going to take over the last control point that I needed to win the game, but I wasn't able to kill one of the units, and my splash damage couldn't quite take over that control point, and I ended up losing at that round. Anyways, it was an exciting match. Good game to everybody involved, 3-player game. But anyways, on to real StarCraft Brood War. It looks like an SCV scout is going to be able to spot out this little attack that Lita is sending up. He's got 3 tanks up on the high ground outside of, it looks like 4 tanks, and they've got the high ground, and a couple of Marines actually there trying to distract against the SCVs, but that Wraith is actually going to provide a little bit of scouting range. So the high grounded advantage, plus the vision, plus some Marines there to act as fodder are going to be doing a nice job to kill off a lot of units. There is one last tank there, and a group of tanks down to the south, and a couple of vultures have come.